Welcome to the Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy. And this is where characters gather. So today I'm going to start a new series on my channel. It's going to be called Unpopular Book Reviews. And first up, Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I first tried to read this when it was released way back in the day. Life was busy. Didn't float my boat. Didn't interest me in the slightest. Set it aside. Never thought about it again. Fast forward to 2023, late December 2022. My book club read Outlander before I joined. And they gush. And they gush. And I know that book lover Amanda loves it. And Kate over at TheLiteraryApothecary loves it. And I will link their channels down below. I also realize that this is a vastly popular book. It has a Stars series. There are 9 books in the series. There's the 10th one being written. It has 2 cookbooks related to the series and countless other related stuff. Why? Why? I do not comprehend why anyone likes this book. Supposedly, Claire and Jamie are the greatest love story ever told. How is that possible? Book begins. Claire is in post-World War II Scotland with her husband, rekindling the romance of their marriage after they both returned from their duties during the war. Perfectly acceptable so far. Those chapters were fine. And then somehow she gets sucked through this time portal and lands up in 1743 Scotland. And that is when I should have DNF'd the book yet again and not continued. Because I do not fathom anything that occurred after that point. Claire, a married woman who professes to love her husband, both before gets sucked into 1743 Scotland and afterwards, then proceeds to do almost nothing to find her way back to him. And when she is given the opportunity to do so with the blessing of her husband in 1743 Scotland, she does not take the chance to return. What? I'm sorry. I was so infuriated by events leading up to that point, and then points thereafter, that I was in a bad mood for the remainder of the day. Let's suspend reality and say that I somehow get sucked through a time portal and I land 200 years in the past, 200 years in the future. It doesn't matter. I land somewhere out of my own space and time. I cannot fathom doing whatever it took to get back to my husband. I certainly, under no circumstances, would I marry another man. I would not marry him. I would not sleep with him. I would not contemplate staying with him if the domestic abuse that happened in this book occurred to me, I certainly would not then proceed to tell said man that I loved him. In fact, I would walk through the hottest fires of hell, and I've told my husband this, to get back to him under said circumstances. But no, Claire loves Jamie. I under no circumstances understand this alleged romance. She murders two men, one of whom she realizes is a 16-year-old child, but she does it to protect Jamie. What? I'm sorry, you murder a 16-year-old child to protect your kilt boy? What? She meddles in the lives of everyone she meets, thereby undoubtedly changing the past, regardless of the impact it would have on the future. And oh, by the way, there would undoubtedly be impact on the future. Because it's not like she, doesn't meddle in the politics of the day or movers and shakers of the day and just confine her meddlesome activities to poor villagers. Oh, no. That would be beneath Claire. I have this book. I do not understand the fascination with it. I do not understand why any woman would find their love romantic in the slightest. It is disturbing. It is gross. It is a violent book. There is rape. There is domestic abuse. There are witch burnings. There is just unnecessarily. I wrote my blog post. I'll link it down below. This is an overly verbose Harlequin romance of the worst sort of the mid-1980s that just is filled with unnecessary detail and convolution, and just there's nothing romantic about this book. I realize this is highly unpopular. I don't care. This is not a good book. I reluctantly gave it 2 stars out of 5. I thought that was an incredibly generous rating on my part. Just, as I said in my blog post, Jamie and Claire are not welcome in the pub. They aren't even welcome in the parking lot of the pub. I have nothing to say to these two people. I know this isn't going to get a lot of likes and subscribes, and that's fine. Feel free to comment down below. We are all entitled to like different books. And if you like Claire and Jamie, that's fine. But please do not try and sell me on the fact that they're one of the greatest romantic couples of all time, and this is a great love story, because I just can't fathom that line of thinking.